All right, we just went live. Now I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started with the agenda. All right, so I'm going to call this meeting to order at 10:08 a.m. and we're going to start with a roll call. So Jonathan?
Here.
Sophia? Sophia is here. Ava?
Here.
Emily?
Here.
Zana?
Here.
Jacqueline?
Here.
Tabitha?
Here.
Jericho?
Here.
Jimmy?
Here.
And Sean.
Here.
All right, now that we have established quorum, I'd like to acknowledge that we are conducting business on the native land of the Hahamong tribe, the Tonga Nation. I'd like to offer a moment of silence for those who have come before us. All right, now we're going to move on to the approval of today's agenda. I'd like to entertain a motion of approving today's agenda. And we'll scroll down until we get a motion.
So moved.
All right, can I get a second?
I second that.
All right, seconded by Zana. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the approval. I'm just gonna scroll through. If there's any changes that need to be made, let me know. If not, I'm going to put it to a unanimous consent vote. Is anyone opposed to approving today's agenda? All right, hearing none, today's agenda is approved with unanimous consent. Now we're gonna move on to the approval of minutes for Monday, April 5th. So I'd like to entertain a motion of approving last Monday's agenda.
I move.
All right, moved by Jericho. Can I get a second?
I second that.
All right, seconded by Tabitha. I think this is the wrong minutes. Give me a second. I apologize. All right, here's the right one. All right. If this all looks good and no changes need to be made, I'm going to bring this to a unanimous consent vote. Is anyone opposed to approving last Monday's agenda or minutes? All right, hearing none, last Monday's minutes are approved. All right, so now that we're done with that, we're gonna move on to public comment on non-agenda items. Is there any members of the public that would like to make a comment?
Hello, everybody. That's all.
Yay, thank you, member of the public, Kyle Schmidt. Now we're gonna move on to introductions and reports. So this is finally, everybody will have hopefully something to report. Not, that's okay. So we're gonna go through the roll call for introductions and reports. And we're gonna start with Jonathan.
I have nothing to report today.
Okay, Sophia. I think Sophia cut out. I'm not sure. But I did notice she did the interview as well, so good job, Sophia. Ava?
I have nothing to report today.
Or I mean, you technically can report the because I know you did the OE, the Office of Institutional Effectiveness Research.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I did some investigation about the what was it called? Oh my god, I totally forgot the name about it. But yeah, I did a mini report about that, and I pointed 5 like important points regarding that on Tello. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that, Ava. And then we'll move on to Emily.
I did the interview thing, was it 2 weeks ago, on one of my friends, and revising that essay was scary, and I'm scared for my grade. I feel like, did you get Underwood to approve it?
To approve. Oh, I don't know yet. I'm worried. If you're wondering what she's talking about, we had an essay due yesterday and Turnitin wouldn't let me turn it in, even though I like went on a different browser too. So at 11:59, I emailed him. I'm just like, hey, here's my essay. Please accept it. I couldn't turn it in because of technology issues. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's hope. All right. Thank you for that report, Emily. Move on to Zana.
I don't think I have anything to report.
All right. Thank you, Zana. Jacqueline, is there anything you'd like to report?
I did my first post for the
Mm.
social media. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I got some help from Philly. But yeah, it was great. Great first post.
All right. Good job, Jacqueline. We'll move on to Tabitha. Is there anything I'd like to report?
Nothing to report.
All right. Thank you, Tabitha. Move on to Jericho. Is there anything you'd like to report?
No, I have nothing to report.
All right. Thank you, Jericho. Jimmy, is there anything you'd like to report?
I have nothing to report either.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy, for that concise report. Move on lastly to Sean. Is there anything you'd like to report?
I did research on the Office of Institutional Effectiveness as well, and I found out a lot of information. Should I like say it all here? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I was actually hoping that we'll do it like that, where you can kind of like tell us your findings, because
Okay.
that was basically like your training, right? So now you kind of like know what we're serving and everything. So you can give us your takeaways from it, like interesting things that you found.
Okay, yeah. So I had before this, I didn't really have any idea what the Office of Institutional Effectiveness was, but they basically strive to achieve the most possible effectiveness in all areas of PCC. So they'll conduct research, review different programs, reflect on the effectiveness of different policies and procedures here, and they focus on doing research that improves that college effectiveness. So they'll look at campus operations, instruction, and they use a lot of surveys and everything to kind of analyze those results, as well as the college's database and what it means for the college. So it's basically their equity dashboard is basically a tool that was developed by PCC to look at student demographics when it comes to academic success. And it's basically a rundown of student success rate, retention rate, and the number of enrollment by ethnicity. I also found that last year there was the retention rate was 81%, which is really, really good for a community college, so go PCC. However, there has been a slight drop of around 4% in that retention rate when compared to the last 4 years, which was around 85 range. And this seems like a small drop, but I did the math, and when we look at last year's enrollment number, a 4% drop is still about 7,000 students-ish, which I think is a pretty large number of students. And I thought that was really interesting because it gives me a better idea of the certain problems we have right now because of COVID and like what we should be broadcasting on our social media to support that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you for that report. That is very interesting. And like for one of the discussion items, and also talk about as well, like really kind of specializing in your role. So now like for the reports, basically, like your job is super important in terms of like making sure that we're doing stuff that's useful for people. And so now that you've kind of done that research as well, like now you know like the scenario that we're in and like the people that we have to kind of look out for as well. So thank you for that report. And that's pretty much it for everybody, all the committee members. All I have to report is that we're gonna have a very good meeting today because finally the kids are going off to college, you know? So I'll move on to advisor reports and then Jordan can take us off there.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I hope you all had a really good spring break. Let me know if you all need any help with anything. I'm just catching up on some emails from other individuals on campus. And it sounds like you all are really great. I haven't been able to check if there's anything that's been on Trello or on, what's the other one?
Discord?
Yes, Discord. I don't know what all the cool kids are up to these days, so I always forget the names. But yeah, if you need anything, please email me. Please also be aware, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the semester. So that includes anything from getting all your last classes in to petitioning to graduate. The deadline is the end of this month. So if you are going to graduate and get those AA or AAT degrees, please put, apply by the end of this month. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
All right, thank you for that wonderful advisor's report. So now we're going to move on to action items. We don't have any action items, so we're going to move on to discussion items. So discussion item A, committee workflow. Basically for that, I'm going to be explaining like how we're going to work on Trello now. So over spring break, I was kind of stressing over our committee too. I was trying to figure out how it would be best for us to kind of work together. And so now that everybody's kind of trained, we will be able to be a lot more free there. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go to the Trello, and this is basically the same thing as last time. So everyone saw earlier, last week, and basically, whenever you guys finish your like tasks on Trello, I guess your assignments on Trello, like this for example, or this for example, we're just gonna move the. I want you to just move the card like to the next section. For example, if you did this for your assignment, just move it to the done pile. Like for example, they did this, they're done with that. They did office hours, they're done with that. They have a list of professors, so they've done with that. And so basically every week, like the ideal is that every week we're just going to spend 5 minutes on this, because now now that you're trained, you're really going to just be able to do things on your own. And I'm not going to like assign you every week. So that's basically stuff that you make for yourself. Like for example, if you're Ava, just be like, I'm gonna research student success or something, you know, like, okay, yeah. So you just put it there, and then basically every single week that we meet, and you're just like, okay, I finished this, and you just leave it there. And that's basically how we review like everything that people have done. So it's a really good way to kind of just track like what's happened every week. And so that's a really easy way. And so for this, for example, I'm also going to switch it up for this as well. So sorry if it's very complicated. It looks like a lot. That's how I view it. It looks like a lot. But for our Google Drive, I'm going to make it easier for everybody by I just made a projects folder where it's much easier. Instead of like, for example, if Jimmy makes his graphic, like Mother's Day appreciation, or Zana makes her graphic here, it's very awkward for like, for example, for Tabitha or like Jacqueline to go over there and like get the graphic. So this stuff is all for you. Like you can put anything you want in there, but if you're going to make like an event graphic or something related to it, just I'm gonna make a folder. Like for example, we'll make it like Mother's Day, right? And that way it's very easy. Like for example, we'll just have a graphic here, we'll have like a post caption here, and that way it's just very it's just in one area. So that's something that did change in terms of how we want to work together as a group. So I'll just make these folders, and then you just put your stuff in there. That way it's much easier for everybody. And then, for example, if you're Jimmy or if you're Zana and you're done with your graphic, just move it here. And that means it's ready to be posted and promoted. And so like the way our committee workflow is going to work is that once you're done with that, this will be like the week of posting. And we're going to have like, for example, Jonathan and Jericho promoting that week. We're going to have Zana and, I say Zana, Jacqueline and Tabitha posting as well. And like I said, the kids are going off to college. So I'm going to give the social media managers, both Tabitha and Jacqueline, free reign. Like I'm going to let them schedule how they want to, when they want to post. I'm not going to like tell them post on this day. And so that's why it's really easy. When you're a graphic designer, just leave it in there. And then like the week of, like Monday, we'll just say like, oh, Jacqueline, this is there for you. So I'll post it sometime this week. And we're going to assign like Jericho to like email professors or something. And so that's basically the workflow. If it's confusing at all, please type your confusions in the chat. But what if I'm done with the graphic? Usually we're not going to work like that, where I'm going to have you and Jimmy do the same graphic, because that'd be kind of a waste of effort for both of you. I only did that because I would kind of want to like have both of you train. I wouldn't want to just assign one. So this is only for training. Only for training, both of you are gonna do the same graphic. But later on, I'm gonna have you and Jimmy like make your own graphics. Well, in terms of like one person's gonna do one graphic, the other person's gonna do one graphic. It's not gonna be two on the same. All right. Bye, Kyle. Thank you for coming. And so yeah, basically just like it'll just be one person usually, and then you just move it over here. Because later on, the researchers will be like sending in graphic requests, and I'm gonna make a form for that as well. So sorry if it's confusing. Once we get this training down and kind of get more familiar, we can really get more comfortable. So that is pretty much it for the Trello and the committee workflow. Now we're gonna move on to committee training. If there's no discussion or any questions, we're actually gonna move on from discussion item A.
I think Sophia has a question in the chat.
I post my student highlight. Ready to vote this week. Yes. So if you're talking about the Galileo actress, then yes, we will be able to post that today. And so we can do that during work assignments. Like so we'll have work assignments be like a standing item where every week we're just gonna have that there. And like I said, hopefully the ideal is we just spend 5 minutes on it every single week. And after that, we just spend the rest of the committee meeting like, for example, Jordan had ideas of like, having a guest speaker, like a social media person who earns a lot of money, who's gonna come for free because she's his friend, but we're not gonna like abuse that. But anyways, yeah, I got you, Jordan. Don't worry, we're not gonna use that. But yeah, that's basically how it'll work. And so remind me if I don't assign that to Jacqueline and Tabitha later. All right. So now we're gonna move on to committee training. So I made some breakout rooms already, and I'm gonna start assigning people to them right now. And basically, I'll just kind of explain it. Oh, that's so weird. I can't see myself. That's weird. So basically, for the social media managers, Tabitha and Jacqueline, the way I'm gonna make it work is that I'm gonna give Tabitha access to the social media accounts as well now. And like now that Jacqueline's kind of more used to it, I'm just gonna have you and Tabitha discuss how you want to divvy up responsibilities. And so I was thinking, Jacqueline, you kind of be the head for now, and then Tabitha will help you with post captions and everything, so she gets more familiar. Then after that, you can kind of like work together for posts and everything. And just like in general, other stuff as well. Like if you want to buy stuff, like programs that help us with like reaching out to people, like we have the budget for that. So that's something that like Tabitha and Jacqueline can also spend time on as well, like once they get more comfortable with it. The reporters, I want you and Emily to just for now talk about like your interviews. And when I come in, I'll kind of help you with in terms of like my critiques to help you improve for that. And then graphic designers, Jimmy and Sana, you're gonna be in the breakout rooms as well. And I'm just gonna have you critique each other's graphics. Like for example, this is ugly, but you have to do it constructively, okay? You can call it ugly, but you gotta provide your improvements. So I'm gonna add you guys to the breakout rooms now, and then everybody else will just be in the main session. All of you who's gonna be in the main session, you're basically already trained, so you don't really need specific things. So you can kind of just discuss any ideas you have if you want. I know last time it was kind of just very quiet, but it's up to you how you want to lead that. So yeah, give me like 30 seconds while I add everybody. All right, just open the rooms. So I'll see Jacqueline and Tabitha first. Then Jordan, you can do whatever you want as advisor. So have fun. Wow. Hey, Jonathan, what's up?
Hello.
I've been watching the stream. Nobody is nobody talked in the main session.
Oh no, we've been chatting all about you.
Oh, wow, thank you. You know, I'll take, any publicity is good publicity. That's the motto, okay? But oh no, I need to turn off my self view again. This is weird. All right. So we can move on now to the other agenda stuff. Very exciting. All right. Okay, that's the minutes. All right, so now I think everybody is basically trained kind of. So like the social media managers, I think they're ready to just really do whatever they want in terms of social media. Reporters know how they want to work, so they are free. Graphic designers are also free as well. For them, it's really easy. Just like in terms of how they want to work, you just move a card over and make the graphic as well. And public relations, they can do whatever they want as well. Oh, we'll explain that later. But looks like everybody's trained. So if anyone has any discussion, we'll just move on if not. All right, we're gonna move on to work assignments. So for work assignments, this is the thing, like I said earlier, it will be a standing item. And ideally, we'll just have it be 5 minutes. All I'll do is look over here, be like, oh, cool, Emily is interviewing an honors student. And then I'll just like do edits and just be like, okay, cool, next week, I'll just see a final draft. For the graphic designers, what they'll do is I will put stuff in here. What I'll do as the chair is I'll look at the publicity request form and I get emails whenever someone submits something. And I'll just make a card. For example, Mother's Day appreciation. And they just do that. They just make a graphic for that by looking at the information there and just be like, cool, all right, I'm done with my graphic. And then Jacqueline and Tabitha can post whatever they want. And then we'll also assign Jonathan and Jericho to promote. But yeah, basically, that's how our work assignments will work. It's everybody will have kind of freedom there. You just make your card and then you'll know what to do. So that's pretty much it for work assignments. Very simple. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh no. I don't know if, okay, she can't even hear me if I said anything anyways, but it's very sad. All right, so now we're done with work assignments. Does anyone have any discussion there? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to future appointment. So in the future, hopefully, finally, we can have more discussion instead of me talking the entire time. I was gonna have a 30-minute break, but it's like 30 minutes after 30 minutes. So it's kind of too late to take a break. But for future appointment, I'm gonna go through everybody in the committee right now, actually. And we're gonna talk about like what they are gonna be specializing in. So now that everybody's kind of got an idea of their stuff, we're going to like talk about. Oh, actually, sorry, I just realized something. Zana and Jamie didn't remind me, but they're gonna do a final draft for their Mother's Day appreciation. So I'm just gonna leave that there. But for future appointment, now that everybody knows kind of their field, I guess. Like I know Sean and Ava are a bit more experienced now in their fields as well. And so I'm really gonna ask everybody to kind of find something that they want to specialize in. Because especially for social media, it's very hard to have two people on the same thing. And so when you have both of them like have clear responsibilities, it's much easier for them to feel like they know what they're doing as well. So I'm gonna start with Jonathan, and I was wondering for next week, for next meeting, what kind of you want to specialize in. Like for example, I know you wanted to do a press secretary thing. And or like as well as if anybody's interested, vice chair secretary as well, they can also mention that. Jordan, do they have to email me, or is it okay if they just mention it during today or something if they want?
I mean, just for your sake, I think everybody that's interested should email you, so that way you know who's interested in doing that.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone's interested in vice chair and secretary, you can always just email me. And then we'll bring it to a vote next meeting. But for now, this is more of just like a committee roles. So Jonathan, I guess you can kind of tell me about what you want to do in the committee and like what title, for example.
Yeah, so I just want to keep on doing like what I was doing, like pretty much stuff like drafting like contacts and like adapting or not adapting, but establishing like relations with like teachers and other people on campus so then we could further promote AS stuff and then just more stuff like internal kind of like with AS, like reaching out to like various committees or talking to people like the courier, just establishing a personal link where people could ask questions.
Okay, so it seems like you're kind of outreaching as well as like maintaining relations as well. So if you have a specific title, I guess you can, but from what it seems like, you'll just be public relations. So I'll just write that down. I'm taking notes. But okay, that's good to know. So now we have Jonathan's kind of role kind of on lock. And Sophia, I'd like to ask you about what role you'd want in the committee.
Reporter?
All right, okay, thank you. That's very simple.
Okay.
All right, Sophia. Order. All right, and then the next one is Ava. So Ava, I was kind of thinking about it over spring break. I was like, I feel like research is a lame thing. So like, I don't know, if you want like field researcher or like research analyst, I don't know. You know, Jordan, you know any good names for like people who do research? Please help me. But yeah, Ava, you can kind of tell me about what you want to do. If you want to just say, oh yeah, I'll be a researcher, then we can do that as well.
I mean, I'm fine with doing research in that. So yeah, I can stick to that.
All right. Thank you for that. And Emily, what role would you like?
Reporter.
All right, thank you for that. Very concise. Zana.
I'd like to get more into public relations and creating / editing videos.
Okay. So I will write that down and we'll kind of figure that out as well. Because I think, I'm not sure how much graphics we're going to get. So I don't really want you and Jamie to be left in the dark in terms of, you're not really doing much. So I will write that down. So videos, you said videos and public relations as well. Right,
And
so that's
also
good.
graphic design, but I think that's implied.
Okay, yeah. Cause like, basically, sorry for everybody else if I didn't explain it properly well enough, but this is just basically how we're gonna, I guess, appoint you in terms of your title. It's very superficial, but it's just easier in terms of our committee because like a lot of us do different things, and so it makes sense to have different titles. So this is basically just how I'm gonna title you in the committee. That's basically it.
Oh, okay.
So I'll figure that out for Zana though.
Graphic designer, I think, would work.
Right. We'll put graphic designer for now then. And Jacqueline.
I'm fine at doing social media management.
Right. I'll just put down social media manager.
Yeah.
Right. And then Tepra.
Second in command of social media.
Second in command.
No, whatever you say.
What if we do social media intern? You think that sounds like official?
Yeah.
All right. Then we'll promote you once you know are trained as well. All right. Thank you, Teva. So Jericho.
Yes. I think just public relation for now, I guess. Yeah, there's no really like a specific job that I can like title, I guess.
Yeah. So that's good for now. We can always change it later on as we like kind of more specialized because obviously it's hard to like say exactly like I want to be a damage control consultant. Like, you know, like what? Okay. But yeah, so all right, I'll just leave you as public relations for now. Then Jimmy.
I think just graphic designer, you know. Same as Zana, I guess.
All right. I know Jimmy has a background in accounting as well. and we might need him later for spending money. We'll see though. All right. So Sean, last but not least, Sean.
I don't know about title yet, but I know that what I want to research or find out are the different things that PCC has to offer that many students probably don't know about, or just resources and news that pertain to relevant events. You know, like COVID-19 right now. That's like a really big thing. So like COVID-19 relief, resources, mental health, healthcare services, like anything like that. But yeah, just and getting to know the student body better so we can know what to broadcast.
Okay. Yeah, so like for now, I guess most of us don't have an exact kind of thing, but we'll just leave it general for now. Like for example, Sean, like you said, like if you, I don't know, if you want to like specialize in like, I don't know, health research, I guess. Like you'd be like a health researcher. I mean, like stuff like that, where we really want to make sure that people have a very clear idea of what their roles are, instead of it being like, oh, I just do general research of anything. Like that'd be very, I guess, hard to explain to people what you do. But yeah, so that's basically it for everybody. Everyone kind of has general stuff for now, and then over time we'll really flesh that out as well. Just the fun part. Like the more you get used to like what you want to do. So that's it for future appointment. Email me if you want to help me if I die or something or pass out and I can't make it to a meeting. That's vice chair. If you want to write minutes, be secretary. If not, it's not really that not that big of a deal. I'll leave that there though for anybody interested. So if there's any more discussion on that, I'm gonna move on. All right, hearing none, we're gonna move on to public comment on non-agenda items. Any members of the public that would like to make a comment? All right, there are none in the YouTube too. So we're going to move on to advisors' comments. So Jordan, please take us away.
No, just good job, you all. I know I was in the main session, so we weren't really talking. But Philly, if you need anything, just let me know. And just another reminder, submit your graduation petitions if you're graduating.
All right, thank you for that, Jordan. Now we're going on to announcements. Does anyone want to announce anything? Okay, looks like we don't have anything interesting in our lives, but that's okay. So I guess this is not really specifically an announcement. I just want to say I'm very excited for the next few meetings, because now that everybody's fully trained, kind of, and now that we can start branching out into stuff, now that we're all trained, we can really be more of a, I guess, like I want these meetings to be less me talking about like what you guys need to do, and more like 5 minutes of me saying, okay, cool, like we'll all do this by next week. And then we'll spend more time kind of like learning stuff, and also hopefully like have guest speakers as well. It's very weird for a committee, I guess, but like we're special like that, you know? And we have our contacts, me and Jordan, so we'll try and get that as well. Cause like I said, for interviews, like this is really a chance to kind of explore what you want to do in like communication type of fields. So like for journalists, for social media managers, for like Jimmy, the graphic designer, the very talented graphic designer. Like there's a lot of stuff you can kind of explore. So I'm very excited for that. That's my announcement. And yeah, sorry for talking this entire time. Next week, I swear it'll be different, okay? And that, there's no announcements. We're gonna move on to future meeting dates and times. All right, we're gonna move on. So our next meeting is next Monday. And if you have any agenda items that you want added, please send that to me by April 21st. And that's pretty much it. Looking forward to seeing everybody and their assignments next week. So just to make sure, you guys will have your freedom now. So just put a card on the Trello. Like if you're Sean, just like say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna research the health, right? Just leave that there. So for next week, I will know like that's what you were doing. So that's something everybody can kind of do on their own. Okay, that's done. And then if you're done with it, just leave it there. So we're gonna make this look really nice. So we're done with this, right? So we're gonna archive that. We're done with this, so we're gonna archive that. Done with that, so we're gonna archive that. Archive that. And we're gonna archive that. And so that's basically the process every week. So just do that by next week, and then we're good. All right. So now I'm gonna move on to adjournment. So I'd like to entertain a motion of adjourning.
So moved.
I second that.
All right, moved by Jonathan, seconded by Jacqueline. Gonna move this to a unanimous consent vote. So is anyone opposed to adjourning? Okay, hearing none, we're now adjourned officially at 11:15 a.m. Thank you everyone for coming.